We begin the episode at Wednesday the 20th of October. It's the same evening after Charlie killed Ethan. In the previous episode we saw a little bit of the characters at the caves. This episode starts at the beach camp. Sawyer wakes up. A boar is in his tent. He chases it into the jungle and hears whispers. One of those voices comes from Frank Duckett. In the 6th season, we learned that the whisperers are those that can't move on after they are dead. Based on this scene, we can probably deduce that Frank Duckett is one of those people. There are more voices. One name is uttered, Dennis. Other than that, we can't really tell. It's just whispering. The next morning, Sawyer asks Saeed about the whispers he heard in the jungle while cleaning up the remains of his shelter. Jack and Kate pack together the guns into the Halliburton case.
So is anyone curious where they came from?
The others knew there was a marshal on the plane. I guess they just assumed he was traveling alone, protecting them from terrorists.
Compared to that scene with Jack and Locke in the previous episode, I'd say that Jack is not that careful about being seen. I think there is a possibility that someone might have seen them there with the case full of guns. I'll get back to this in the next episode. In the caves, Charlie is building some sort of shovel. Sawyer goes into the jungle, finds the tarp and is surrounded by the whisperers again, as well as the Frank Duckett whisperer. He is attacked by the same boar, then the boar runs into the jungle. Sawyer goes back to the beach, ready for revenge. He ventures into the jungle. Kate goes after him.
It's a footprint.
Sawyer isn't exactly a tracker, and Kate thinks that he has been following either Boone or Charlie for an hour. I like to think that he's following Boone, who is going to the hatch site to help Locke dig it up. Now we have a bit of off-screen travel. Charlie and Hurley go to Ethan's death site and pick up his body. They carry it to the beach where they bury him. He's buried in the grassy field near the gravesite, but not exactly at the same spot as Scott.
Hurley, I appreciate the help. You don't have to. I killed Ethan. I can bury him.
Yeah, until he rises from the dead.
At night, Kate and Sawyer play I Never. During the night, the boar ransacks their campsite and pees all over Sawyer's stuff. The next morning, they wake up to a giant mess. Their campsite is located near this impressive banyan tree. Filming location unclear. Having picked up and followed their trail to the campsite, John Locke tells them the story of his golden retriever.
Maybe these tree rubbings from his tusks.
You mean he's around here?
Maybe.
Sawyer finds and messes with a piglet, to which Kate gets annoyed and leaves him. Shortly after, Sawyer finally finds the boar but lets it live.
It's just a boar.
Let's get back to camp.
Back at the beach, Saeed talks to Charlie. He asks him to stop pretending to be alone in the aftermath of the murder. Charlie ends up taking that walk on the beach with Claire. Kate and Sawyer go back to the beach. Sawyer finds Jack in the woods. I'm fairly certain that this area is the same they passed at the beginning of pilot part 2. The trees match up pretty well. I think it could be the same location, so I think it's around in this area. Not that far from the caves, but not too far from the cockpit. Sawyer returns the gun to him. After they talk, he realizes that he met Jack's father in a bar in Sydney. Stay tuned for the next episode, where we go back to the golf course in the episode In Translation.